Very warm welcome to you once again to the Sports Desk. We'll focus on this in this hour. So Ashleigh Moolman Pasio continues to represent local cycling with distinction. The South African rider recently took her place in the Women's Tour de France among her recent engagements. Moolman Pasio joins us live via Zoom all the way from Girona in Spain. Ashleigh, so nice to have you here with us on eNCA. How are you doing?
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm doing very well.
That's good, Ashleigh. So you finished sixth, right, in this year's Tour de France. How do you look back on your time at the competition?
Yeah, I look back on the competition with a lot of pride. I did my best to fly the South African flag and the African flag very high. From the first stage, I managed to get myself into the green jersey. So every day I was on the start, on the front line of the start, representing my country and my team at the highest level. The competition went really, really well. It was just maybe towards the latter part where I was actually lying second on the GC, and I had some back issues, unfortunately, which prevented me from reaching my absolute best potential in the last two stages. So, of course, that comes with a little bit of disappointment. But then at the same time, just hearing the positive feedback and the impact that my performance had, on the viewers and everyone watching and inspiring people from South Africa and Africa, it really makes me feel very proud and very happy and motivated to reach for bigger heights next year at the Tour de France FAM.
Yeah, and speaking of being the flag bearer for South Africa and Africa, you've had the title for quite a while now. Just tell me, are you happy with where the state of women's cycling is in the country and also just on the continent?
Unfortunately, I have to say there's still a lot that needs to be done in South Africa and Africa in terms of getting more women or affording more women the opportunity to reach the highest level in Europe. And unfortunately, there are quite a lot of barriers, especially in terms of, well, first cultural barriers, having to leave Africa as a continent to come over to a totally foreign culture in Europe and to find your way. But then also visas are quite a big barrier. So yeah, I'm working really hard. For me, obviously, maybe, I'm not getting any younger, so my years in the pro peloton are slowly but surely coming to an end. But I'm taking small steps to try and create the next steps in my career, which will be to help more South African and African cyclists get over to Europe to represent at the highest level. And I've started already with a grassroots project in Khayelitsha, a township in Cape Town, where I've partnered with Culture Cycles, which is a bike shop operating from shipping containers, and my virtual community, Rockacorba Collective. We've partnered to create an indoor and e-learning center for these girls. And that's the first step in a pilot study, which hopefully we'll be able to scale to include more underprivileged communities in South Africa and Africa. Sure,
really, really amazing work. And it's just very impressive to see what you're doing to give back to the country. You've already done relatively well at this year's Tour de France. What does this year actually also just hold for you in terms of the future? You just said that you haven't reached your best potential yet.
Yeah, so I'm heading off to the World Championships in Glasgow this Thursday. So I'll be racing the World Champs Road Race on Sunday, the 13th. And of course, once again, I'll give my absolute best to fly the country and the continent flag as high as possible and go for those rainbow stripes. That would be really an ultimate achievement, because obviously the important thing is for me to continue to inspire girls and women in South Africa to show them what is possible. And that's really the importance of the opportunity we have now to race the Tour de France for women, is that young girls and women can see women racing their bikes at the highest level, because I really believe you can't be what you can't see. So that's the real significance. And then, after the World Champs, I still have some high-level tours. World Tour in Scandinavia, the Tour of Romandy in Switzerland, which I won last year. So I'll be back to defend my title. And then, 2024 is a new season, another chance to race for the yellow jersey in the Tour de France FAM avec Zwift. So, still lots to come.
Wow, we also just can't wait to see all that is to come. Ashleigh, thank you so much for joining us. That was two-time Olympian Ashleigh Moolman Pasio joining us all the way from Girona in Spain. Sally, it's back to you.
Thank you so much, Nsako. So interesting talking about cycling, because I had an interview with the Young Urbanist Group, a non-profit pushing for cycling to become a way of life, and it really is. It makes so much sense. And the thing that really hit me was he said, for the cost of filling your tank with petrol, you can buy a bicycle.
Yeah, and look at what Ashleigh has done with her bicycle.
I know, amazing.
Great stuff.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so